Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Truth About Real Estate Investing show. My name is Erwin Cito, and I have a question. Do you ever lay awake at night because your brain won't turn off? There's a lot going on in the world, and this happens to me all the time. My thoughts are somewhat productive, a little too fast and furious, as I often think about what needs to be done at work, what needs to be done on our portfolio, like maintenance issues or tenant requests. Uh, you know, how low my rents are on certain properties. Family, of course. Add to that all the challenges that we face, the rising costs, pending recession, climate change, and its impact on our properties, specifically like maintenance and what damages it does to our properties. And hence we need to make some decisions there. It's a lot to give my brain so it's a lot to take on. So I need to give my brain something else to work on that's light. So I'll listen to podcasts typically about the Toronto Blue Jays and the Toronto Raptors. I know they're disappointing at times, but it's light. It's not depressing either. Somewhat not depressing. The only challenge is sleeping with earphone AirPods, the Apple AirPods, which isn't the most comfortable thing to do, but it's passable. But at least, thank goodness, they're wireless. Also keeping me up is what to present at the Wealth Hacker Conference. I can be a bit of a perfectionist. Part of the challenge is I've consumed a lot of information. I read the news regularly, like every morning, every night. I read paid stuff as well. It's a good filter for fake news. My planned talk is around the changing world order, because stuff is going on out there. How to prepare for it, how to weather the storm, how real estate plays a big part in my and Cherry's investment plans, not just now, but in the future, to just not only to build our wealth, but to, hedge against inflation, which was one of the main reasons I got in originally. Hope people haven't forgot about that. Rents are also continuing to set historic highs each month. Interest rates are up, affordability down, new supply is down, demand is up. It's complicated, but I'll be doing my best to sum up all the research that I do on a daily basis, and I'll pull back the curtain and share what deals the smart money is doing. Thankfully, we also have a lot of leading Canadian experts in all the areas of investing coming to speak on November 12th for a one-day, all-day event. As the market declines in real estate, stocks, crypto, no, it's not fun. But understand, this has happened before. Not for crypto, but for technology stocks, this has happened before. And I know people personally who got rich during these times. Hence, we have experts in each area sharing what they're investing in on this dip. We also have mortgage wizard Dalia Barsoom of Streetwise Mortgages sharing an all-new presentation on the investor journey from a comprehensive financing perspective that would keep you out of trouble, unlike a lot of the people who got a little bit too over-leveraged in the last year or two. And she will also cover partnerships, like joint venture partnerships, capital partners, whatnot, and of course, private money. Dalia, like Cherry and I, invests in whole life insurance, an often overlooked strategy. Hence, we have Canada's leading expert, Jason Lowe, founder of Ascendant Financial, to present why and how this investment has positive returns, even in 2022, when everything else is down. Wouldn't you like to know about an investment that is always green? Crazy, eh? As a charitable bonus, for every ticket sold this week, we are donating a pair of winter boots to school kids in Hamilton as part of our Basket Brigade efforts. No child should be left to be walking to school in running shoes with holes in them, exposing their toes to the cold, slush, and snow. Cold, wet socks, and frostbite is bad enough, but just think about how embarrassing it is for kids to be showing up to school in broken, dirty shoes. It's not something like we like to allow happen, so we're doing something about it. Also, we have a discount code for you, my 17 listeners. It's a 5-letter word, TRUTH, TRUTH. Feel free to share it with your friends and family, as everyone needs to prepare for this economic winter. Get everyone on the same page. Bring your spouse, bring your partner, get them on the same page. There is trouble out there. Inflation is here to stay. Deglobalization is a thing. So expect inflation to be higher than ever going forward. So financial education is more important than ever. Wealthhacker.ca for details and to purchase tickets. On to this week's show. One of the reasons we started Stock Hacker Academy was we knew real estate was inaccessible to many. And with cash flow so squeezed in real estate, with prices having gone up so much, now interest rates have gone up so much, I know many are looking for a better yield on their cash. They're looking for cash flow because everyone would like more cash flow in their lives. All right. Also, again, many of our clientele, their real estate portfolios, even in this current market, their real estate portfolios have gone up significantly because they've been accumulating for like 8, 5, 3 years, right? So they're looking for what to do with all that money they made in those properties. Also, I think everyone could use some diversification in their life. At the end of the day, no matter the investor every investor I've spoken to, they want a return on their time, and they want passive investments that cash flow. Our guest today, Anderson Carter-Griffith, has found a side hustle and an investment that works for him. Anderson is an immigrant and a chef who was underemployed thanks to the pandemic. He's since pivoted to investing in stocks, trading in options, and delivers food via Doordash, the online food delivery app. On this show, Anderson shares how much he makes, how he makes a couple $100s combined each week via his side hustles and his investments. He also invests in boring stocks for the long term, so you want to pay attention to that. There's something for everyone in this episode, especially for young people, especially for folks who find real estate inaccessible. Most importantly, thanks to Anderson's newfound financial education, he has done a complete 180-degree turn, having previously prioritized buying luxury cars and car accessories, stuff that depreciates, and now he prefers to invest for the benefit of compounding returns. Something those who unknowingly were doing. So because Anderson didn't know how to make money before and didn't know how to invest, he was spinning his wheels in the rat race. So I think many of us can appreciate that. Many of us have probably been there before or know someone who's still there. So if you know someone who's trying to make extra money on the side to cover whatever increase in costs they have thanks to inflation, maybe you want to share this episode with them, because again, Anderson has found some solutions in side hustles and investing. During this interview, we mentioned the stock and options brokerage that we use. It's in the show notes. I have a referral link there. We don't get any money for it. It's just for tracking purposes, and Interactive Brokers just kind of promise to support our community better than just regular people. Quick disclaimer, none of anything discussed should be considered financial advice, but rather Anderson and I are simply sharing our experiences for educational purposes. Maybe a little entertainment as well. Please seek professional advice. I give you Anderson. Anderson, how you doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you doing?
Not as good as you. We've been catching up.
Probably better.
Lies. I can't believe it's been a year since we had you on the show.
Yeah. Back last year, October.
Yeah, I can't believe it. So what's keeping you busy these days? I see your social media, so
yeah.
I know you've been having a good time.
I've been traveling. I've been working. I've been trading. Those three main things. If people are following me on social, in our group, Doordashing.
Okay, let's get into it. So yeah, you answered my question already. What's keeping you busy these days? So let's just catch up the listener. Yeah. You were here a year ago.
Correct.
You have an awesome story. You were recruited from. Sorry, which country was it again?
Barbados.
And He was one of the B ones. I didn't want to get the wrong one.
Yeah, no problem.
You were recruited out of Barbados to come to Canada to work in hospitality, specifically chef.
Yes.
Right. That's and that's when I found out that's why you stayed was because you met your wife.
Yes, correct.
That's because that weather in Barbados sure looks nice.
Oh yeah, it does, man. But yeah, definitely, yeah, man.
And then actually remind us, how did you come? How did we meet?
We met because I follow your podcast, The Truth About Real Estate Investing.
Right. You're one of the 17 listeners, yes?
Yes, one of the 17. Yeah. And basically, you were talking about your stock hacker course.
Yeah.
So I listened to that and was very interested in it. And then I sought out a bit more information, and then I took your course, Stock Hacker Academy.
Right.
And
but thought it was a scam, though.
Yes, I did. I've been. For me, like I said on my last podcast, for me, certain things, when it doesn't come hard, it used to be kind of weird for me. So like, I'm used to hard work. I'm used to working 14, 15, 16 hours a day.
Yeah, you worked in hospitality as a chef.
Correct.
You had
and coming across your program, And I was like, I just did the math of it. I was like, well, even if I could make $100 or $200 a week.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and most real estate investors don't make that.
And I'm doing it from my phone. So that was my first introduction to you without you knowing. And and I just took your course, and then from there, head down, studied it back to front, and got soaked into the markets and just kept learning.
And just for the listeners' benefit, because I understand somewhat what you do,
yes,
you were much more active than like what we taught.
Yes, well, in the beginning, I was doing exactly what you guys teach, which is a beginner introduction to the stock market for people that don't know, as well as the options market, which is specifically what we deal with. From there, it
was also meant for someone who didn't want to spend a lot of time.
Correct, exactly. And from there, when I found out that there was a way to make money other than working 15 hours a day, that's where I started to get more engulfed and educate myself on different strategies that you can use for options and equity trading and etc. And basically just built up my knowledge from there. And your course was a base to introduce me to other styles of trading.
There's a lot to unpack here.
Yes, for sure.
So the show is about real estate. You have no interest in real estate?
I do, but at the end of the day, it's a higher barrier to entry for a lot of people.
Yes.
And with my journey especially, my focus was on a certain niche, which is I wanted to be able to expose people from Barbados and also people that necessarily cannot get into real estate, but they are able to maybe get into doing stocks, which is a way lower entry. It's less capital that they have to put forth. And as well, I was looking at it from a point of view, and I still look at it from a point of view where, especially in this economy now, if somebody can make an extra $100 or $200 a week, that's $1,000 roughly a month that can help out for families in need or families that are finding it a bit tight right now on money. So
and making US dollars.
Yes.
Which is really good right there.
Exactly. So I was like,
which is like the winning investment this year.
Correct. So for me, it was that was my niche. I just wanted to involve more people or get more people involved on that end of it, because everybody doesn't understand real estate, such as like yourself and your real estate group. But this...
And also it's very capital intensive.
Correct. And this skill, to me, I believe anybody can do it with getting the right education. And it starts off as, again, an extra dollar in your pocket at the end of the month. So that's where I was coming from. For the real estate end of it, that's also very long-term, and people want money now.
Right.
You buy a house today, you can't sell it tomorrow. However, you buy a stock today, you can sell it next minute and make profit. And pull it out and have it in your account.
Let's just clarify that's not what you're doing, though.
No, I'm not doing that, but I'm just saying.
Sorry, before we get into that, what we taught in the course is beginner. Your education obviously evolved.
Yes.
Like, for example, and we believe that here internally, it's just not what we teach in a beginner course.
Correct.
Is you need to take what the market gives you.
Exactly.
You need to go with the trend.
Yes.
And the trend has been only really one direction this year.
Yes, it has.
So just like that famous Netflix movie, The Big Short, you are shorting.
Yes, very much so.
Right.
Very much so. I am a short bias trader. That's just my style.
Because it's the market. It's what the market's giving you.
Yes, it's what the market's given as well. And also, for me, it's, I don't want to say easier, but the way I frame it is a stock goes up, but when it gets to a certain point, most people take what we call take profit. And that causes it to come back down. Therefore, the move up is usually slower than the move back down.
Stairs up, elevator down.
Correct.
So if you're directionally correct,
correct,
then you'll make money faster.
Then yes, but I have no bias. I'm a trader, so I just trade charts.
Right. I have a bias. I'm pretty bearish on the stock market.
Which is understandable, right?
Until this trend reverses, but we're in a trend.
And correct. And everybody has to know their tolerance and know their style.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep saying their tolerance and style because what you may trade, I may not trade.
Mm-hmm.
And what I trade, you may not trade.
Right.
But at the end of the day, as long as you're comfortable with your risk and everything that you're taking on for trading,
mm-hmm.
then
mm-hmm.
it's your decision from there.
Mm-hmm. So this is not advice.
Yeah, no advice.
So folks can turn into the YouTube and they can see exactly what you're literally wearing on your shirt when you're trading.
Yes.
You have to give me your contact for your swag.
Definitely.
Is that the right term?
Yeah,
Is it swag? It's not swag.
It's drip. Let's call it drip.
I like that. That sounds much better. Because drip means like fashion.
Yes.
Swag does not mean fashion.
Yeah.
I wear swag. This is promotional wear. That's how I make my clothing deductible.
There's a smart businessman right there.
I don't have Zuckerberg money. So.
Yeah.
For those who are listening, Meta is on Anderson's shirt. That's why I make the Zuckerberg comment. Okay, so where do we start? Okay, so I do want to touch on you pivoted in the pandemic. Let's talk about a little bit about career stuffs.
Yeah.
Are you still doing the meal service for school kids?
Yes, but that's been drastically reduced due to other commitments as well. And now that we are coming out of the pandemic, there's more other business opportunities that are more beneficial for me as well.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I stepped back from it because I decided that this is what I want to do. Trade.
Okay.
I want to be a trader.
You're making more time for that.
Correct. So I had to shift around my schedule a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But now, literally,
mm-hmm.
you cannot find me away from my desk, my trading desk, that is, between...
you're totally different now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, big time different. But I'm at my trading desk from around 8 o'clock, just before 8 o'clock, and you can't see me leave there until around 10:30.
And you're at night?
No, 8 a.m. till 10:30 a.m.
That's a long day.
Yeah.
2 hours.
2 hours. 2 hours. And that's where I find it funny where people think that this needs to take all day. It doesn't need to take all day.
Right.
And it doesn't even need to take 2 hours. It's just my trading style.
Right.
Because I love the markets and I choose to be visually sitting there every day. But I've got some positions on that I put on. When I say put on, I mean executed them.
Yeah.
I placed orders.
You have positions in the market. You have risk exposure.
Since 3 weeks ago.
Right.
And I haven't looked at them.
Okay.
And, I don't need to look at them.
Right. So just want to provide context. We had Tim Collins on 2 weeks ago. So he doesn't even look at his stuff because he's all in dividend stuff, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So he doesn't even look at it.
Yeah.
I think what he looks at is when the money comes in.
Yes.
He doesn't actually look how his portfolio is performing.
Yeah, I'm the same way on what I call my mid performing portfolio.
Got it. Okay, so you've segmented your
buckets.
portfolio.
Yes.
Okay.
I have my portfolio into 3 sections.
Mm-hmm.
So I have my short term, which is basically day trading. I have my midterm, which is a couple of weeks, anywhere between 1 week to a month. And then I have my long term, which is usually hold for a while. And that's dividend ETFs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dividend ETFs.
Can you share which ones?
Well, I usually...
Again, it's not advice, folks.
I usually will do like stuff that basically has any tech in it, right? I do either dividend ETFs or I will actually do like dividend stock.
Okay. Yeah.
So for example, in my long term, I hold like McDonald's, I hold Walmart, I hold ExxonMobil, that kind of stuff. That will, when the price is right and there's a system that I have, which is I make money from the day trading. I take that profit. And from that profit, I put into dividends or I'm not familiar if you know about something called IBC, Infinity Banking with Jason Lowe. Yeah. So I have a couple policies with him as well.
Oh, so you're buying whole life insurance as well? Fantastic.
Correct. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes. So my trading funds my whole life policies.
So you're taking investment money to pay for your life insurance?
Correct.
That you own, because it's whole life?
Correct.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
We might have to whiteboard this later.
For sure. Definitely. Like I
said, want to whiteboard this later?
Like I said, for me, I kind of like to approach things a bit different and think a little bit outside the box. And I was like, okay.
I'm sure people think you're crazy.
Yeah. Some people do.
Some? Probably the majority of your friends?
They're coming around now that they see the post on Facebook and they see certain things that I'm doing and certain moves that I'm making.
Yeah.
And now they're a bit, it has piqued their interest a bit. They're like, for example, they go, a year ago, this guy was completely crazy.
Yeah.
Now they go, well, he's still doing what he's doing a year ago, and he's doing this with it, right? Which was my whole case in point a year ago. Again, nothing is guaranteed in the stock market at all, but as long as I have a saying, and my saying is, as long as you take your profits and bank it, you will be fine. The issue that a lot of traders have is that, and when I say in our circle, in the trading world, we use a term called hold and hope. And a lot of traders do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hold and hope. I set parameters and I trade robotically.
Mm-hmm.
If I am entering a trade and I say I don't want to lose more than $1 or $5 wide if we're doing spread, as long as it hits that, I am out of the trade.
Right.
Where people go, oh, it'll come back. It'll come back to me, and you get destroyed that way.
Right. You have rules.
Correct. I have parameters. I have rules. And I follow them the same way as again, for the listeners, there's computers that do trading. They're called algos. They do not break their parameters at all.
No, it's a computer. It's a robot.
It's a computer. It's a robot. Exactly.
It has rules to follow.
And if you've done research on algo trading, because like I said, I'm into this, algos performing over a long span of time always make profit.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Because they remove the emotion out of stuff.
Yeah, like fear.
Correct.
Which is kind of like what we're seeing right now.
Fear or greed.
Yeah. Well, fear right now.
Fear right now, yes, because the market's going down.
Yeah.
And then greed when the market's going up. But if you always have parameters set, that removes fear and greed.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just trading pretty much a chart.
Mm-hmm.
And again, nothing is guaranteed, but over a long term, and it has been historically proven, and there's data points on all day long that you will make a profit. It's time in the market again.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, and it sounds weird. It's time in the market, not timing the market.
Mm-hmm.
Right? People try to time the market.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I'll give an example. Right now, the market is in a bear market. And people are going to wait until they think that we're getting out of a bear market. So you're trying to time the bottom, right? But where I'm coming from is, regardless of time in the bottom, if you have time, as in weeks, months, years, repetitive steps that you could do in a year, 2 years, 5 years, you should be profitable as long as you set parameters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's because I'm to mention it now because some people have parameters. Like before we're recording, there's people that we know who are way down this year.
Of course.
Because they didn't cut losses.
Correct. They don't cut losses.
Yeah.
Because
their parameters is to hang on to it.
Yeah, but actually that's not a parameter for them though. That's an emotion. I call it, they get married to a stock.
Uh-huh.
I don't get married to a stock.
Right. Yeah, I don't get married to my houses either.
Correct. Same thing, exactly. If somebody came and offered you $500,000 more than you paid for your house, I can guarantee you're going to go bye-bye to the house.
Let's say with my stock.
Correct. You're not going to sit there and go, I love this house, it's on the lake. No, you're the type of individual.
None of my investment properties are on a lake, but
yeah. But I'm just saying, people will do that, get offered way over the price that they bought it for, and they have an attachment to stuff.
Yeah.
Me, I don't, and maybe that's just my personality, but I don't. Like, prime example, and a bit funny, if I'm wearing this shirt right now, and you love this shirt, and you say, Anderson, I want to give you $500 for that shirt, this shirt is gone off my back at the end of the show. Because that $500,
right.
It didn't cost me $500,
right.
But I can take that money and go buy it again.
Right. And don't take your investments personally.
Correct, exactly.
Right.
I don't. Because, like you said, there's a lot of people hurting due to the stock market right now, and they're like, oh, stock market is crap and da-da-da. But that's, I don't want to sound weird, but that's your fault because you held and hoped and you didn't follow your guidelines. That's all this is about.
Or they didn't have to get the guidelines.
Or they just refuse to have guidelines in first, which is crazy to me.
Right. And many got in for greed as well.
Yeah. Correct.
And also, everyone should consider their term as well.
Exactly.
Because if you're, for example, if you're going to be one of those people that's going to hold and hope, then you should have long term.
Correct.
Right.
And you can't be in a hold and hope situation with thinking a short term outcome.
Yeah.
It will never work.
Yeah.
It will never work.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, in my journey, like I said in my last podcast, it took me a while to get here. Like, get this mentality. Like I said on my last podcast, and don't get me wrong, folks, when you start to trade, you have to be willing to lose money.
You can't win them all.
You cannot win them all, right?
No different than a house flipper. You
correct.
Can't win them all.
And the issue there is, if you cannot stomach losing money, this is not for you.
Yeah, it's not for you.
It's simple.
Yeah.
But if you can stomach losing what I call planned losses over time again, or just due to straight math. It's math. If I am trying to get 5 points, for example, and I am willing to risk 2 points to get 5 points, every time I lose 2 points, it means I should be up 3 points.
Expected, yeah.
Yeah. If my loss is
over the long term,
correct.
Yeah.
I will always be up 3 points, and 3 points repeated over and over and over. I will be up on my portfolio. That's just the simple way of looking at things. I like to simplify things. People like to come with this whole big brain stuff. I'm not big brain. I'm just one of those individuals that I go do DoorDash, for example.
Just DoorDash? You don't? Oh, but the other ones, you don't like the other ones?
I was
anymore?
just DoorDash. I just DoorDash because the other ones, the actual companies, they take more of a commission because we're all freelancers. And how it works, just to quickly refresh the listener, is with DoorDash, you go pick up food deliveries and you get paid, and then DoorDash gets paid a small commission from your pay to be on their network. So almost like a network fee. And they have the lowest fee. So I went with them, right? And as long as you can figure out a system and you do it over and over and over, you will be able to make money, and you will be able to fund, in my case, fund my trading account.
How often are you working for DoorDash?
I work every day for 5 hours.
Which hours?
I usually do around 4 till 9 in the evening.
So dinner?
Yeah, dinner time.
And I asked you before we're recording.
Yeah.
You don't see any drop in...
There's no drop off.
Because there's a recession.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear.
Correct. It's a recession. But the funny thing is with those delivery services, people tend to like not cooking. It's kind of weird to me, but people tend not to like cooking, so they buy food delivery. And for me, it's like they're not in a recession because all they do is just buy cheaper stuff. So before we were recording, like I said, somebody that would used to be buying like steak and potatoes, for example, they will lower that down to chicken and potato or a chicken and salad meal.
Right.
But it doesn't affect me because my delivery fee doesn't change.
Oh, your fee's set.
Yeah, well, it's by distance. So regardless of what you order.
Okay.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter what it is.
It doesn't matter what you order.
Right.
My thing is based off of distance and tip.
Oh, okay.
So I'll give you a funny example. I did 2 deliveries side by side. So I'll give a funny example. I did one delivery where I picked up 13 items. And for argument's sake, let's say that was $20. And then the delivery right after that, I picked up 1 item. And it was the same $20.
Was it a big item?
It was a coffee.
You gotta be kidding me. How is it $20? What'd they pay for the coffee?
I don't know. I don't care. I don't see their order. I don't see the price they pay for the order. All I see is my delivery fee and my tip. So with delivery fee and tip, it was $20.
Did it smell like $100 coffee?
For me, it doesn't make a difference. For me, I can't fathom why you would get a coffee delivered and pay me $20. But who am I to question
The
that?
user paid for it?
So the person ordered on the app. They ordered a coffee. And when I delivered it, by the time the delivery fee, plus they gave me a tip, it was $20 in my pocket.
So they probably paid like $30 for a coffee.
Correct. Exactly. Craziness. But for me, that's great. $30 for a coffee. But if you know certain brands of coffee, I don't know if we can talk brands on here, but certain brands of coffee, they cost $6 and $7 and $8.
Yeah, but I'm not paying $30 for it to be delivered.
But think about it, a family of 4, there's $32. Right?
I can make my own coffee.
You can. I can. They don't. It's crazy to me. We're frugal. That's why. Me and you are frugal.
It's supposed to be a recession.
It's supposed to be a recession. And I hear that all the time. But people don't abide by what the government or whoever is saying. Like, they don't care.
Or they're just bad with their money.
Yeah.
It's probably that.
Correct.
Which is why we're in a recession.
Either they're bad with their money, or they just told themselves, you know what, we just came out of pandemic and now you put a recession, I don't care. That's a lot of people's attitude. And they're out and about, and they're still going out, and they're still spending money. That's them. It works for me. Mm-hmm. And as far as I'm concerned, keep doing it.
Can you share how much you make in a week in that week?
Yeah, so
something?
in a week on Doordash, I make consistently, easily in a week, anywhere between my minimum is $500 up to about $800. And that's 5 hours a day.
And then how do you split that up? What are your buckets for that? You have like a vacation fund? You have...
Right. So when I get... Well, here's the breakdown of it. So when I get that money, so when I get DoorDash money, I put it in my trading account immediately.
Oh, all of it. Okay.
Yeah, all of it.
All right.
Then from my trading account is my buckets that I was talking about.
Sorry, apologies. It's still Interactive Brokers?
Yes.
Shout out Interactive Brokers.
Broker.
We have our referral link in the show notes.
Yeah.
I'll put it there. We get nothing for it. Though.
Yeah, but great broker. I'm happy with them. They do what I need.
Well, the thing is, because we're Canadian, we don't have any options, and all the other ones are way more expensive.
Yeah, well, we've got a few more options, but they're not ideal to what we do.
They're expensive.
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah,
they're pretty.
Yeah,
but
because we've got.
I've heard good things about all of them. It's just
we've
they're
got
a lot more
couple
money.
More brokers that we could use, but
yeah.
For what we do, Interactive Brokers is the best.
I can't imagine what your commissions would be if you were on a different broker.
Oh, I can. I tell it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But Interactive Brokers.
It'd be over $10,000, I bet you.
Oh yeah, easily.
Right.
Easily.
For no different service.
Correct.
Right.
And that's why I said like we've chosen a very good broker, and their platform is very, well, in my opinion, easy to understand once you learn it. Mm-hmm. And then their commissions are great.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, so, it isn't the easiest to learn for beginner, but because we taught how to use it for our purposes.
Correct. It's easy.
Because it could do like 100 different things.
Yeah.
But we only need it for like 2 things.
Correct. Well, I use it for about Yeah, I use about 3 things.
Yeah, so 3%.
Yes.
So you only need to be taught 3% of the application.
Because that's exactly what I was saying back to my whole buckets. I use my whole entire thing is through Interactive Brokers. So even my short-term trading, which is day trading style, that's Interactive Brokers.
Right.
Options, mid to long hold, that's Interactive Brokers. And long-term straight stock dividend is also Interactive Brokers.
So you like boring and you like the day trading.
What's that, sorry?
So you like boring long-term stuff, and you do the day trading.
Yes, yeah, correct.
Yeah, there's a place for all of it.
Yeah, there is.
And also, I want to say for the listeners' benefit, you don't have to do the day trading, for example.
At all. Correct.
Right? Because I do think you need a certain personality
to do that.
Yeah.
It's very high intense.
Yeah.
And very time consuming. And I will say right now, I do not recommend it for 95% of people.
Right. I do think anyone who wants to try should try it with paper.
Correct.
Right. There's no
simulation
point.
and paper.
Do simulation. Yeah.
And
try it.
And I've done that.
Maybe you didn't know, and you're talented.
Correct. Exactly. Well, to be honest, I paper traded, what we call paper trading, which is simulation trading, and I did that for over 6 months.
Right.
Before I stepped foot in the arena of real money. And even when I did real money, I went in with what we call very small position size. So I wasn't like, woo, I'm in the stock market, I'm going to throw so much money at it. There's baby steps to this, and there's a learning curve to this. I just happened to ramp up my learning curve because, as I said in my last podcast as well, I'm that type of individual. I'm that type of individual that will, when I latch onto something, I go full force. It was the same thing when I used to work hotels, and then people thought it was crazy. I worked at a morning job, did 8 hours, and then literally begged and asked around for extra hours.
Yeah.
And so my day was 16 hours. And people are like, oh my gosh, you're crazy. But for me, it's always an end goal. It's always, I'm doing this to achieve this, right? People may ask, oh boy, this guy goes out and does Doordash every single day. Oh my God, I could never do that. He must be crazy. But I am collecting $500 to $800 while you sit there and you complain that you don't know how, you don't have any money.
I have no money to invest.
Correct.
Right.
I have no tolerance for it.
Yeah.
None.
You're so insensitive.
Yeah, I'm proud of it. Because I don't like that people have this woe is me attitude.
Right.
This feel sorry for me. I'll feel sorry for you, yes, but at the same time you aren't doing anything at all to change your situation. It's the same as also like back to a bit of like the real estate side of stuff. If you want to buy a property and you do not have enough money, usually what do you guys try to do? You try to do a joint venture. Maybe not you per se, but that's how people do it. Yeah. And they will go out there and seek, correct. And they'll go out there and they have to do the legwork to find a joint venture partner.
Yeah.
They have to do their pitch. That's them putting in work.
Yeah. Work.
To achieve something that is bigger at the end of it, just for upfront legwork. It's the same. I just bring that back to what I do. Okay, I want to fund my trading account. I don't want to do it out of my day job money. I'm free in the afternoons, and I get that everybody is not free in the afternoons, which is fine. But there's ways to make money. There's work from home that boomed and blossomed during the pandemic. Somebody could have picked up that. If you're good at typing, there's people that want you to type up like legal letters and stuff like that. My wife does that. Right? And that's her side job. Right? That's my point.
Everyone should have a side hustle.
Everybody should have one. As long as you are not bogged down with other stuff, I think everybody should have one. Yeah. It's very good. It's a very good thing.
I actually love your model because your side hustle feeds into your assets.
Correct.
You use your side hustle to pay for assets.
Exactly. And people see certain stuff and they don't understand the background grind for it. So yes, I like you said, I've got a vacation bucket and I've got an investing bucket, but all that comes with work on the back end to fund my account, to do trading, to make profit, to do these things.
Right. So is it your trading profits that you're traveling with?
Yes.
You've had some nice trips.
Yes. Yeah.
Where would you travel the last 12 months?
I've been to...
And none of it's cheap.
Yeah. Well, some. Yes and no, because here's where no again. When you learn stuff and you educate yourself, you can learn the system. What I call the system.
Okay.
So what it is there is travel points with your credit cards. There's sign-up bonuses for those travel points. Those travel points can be used for airfare and hotels. And basically, it's called travel arbitrage. And what it is you trade, you make a certain amount of money. In my case, you trade, you make a certain amount of money. You apply for a card. You get the bonus. You use the card up to a certain amount of because it's a certain like amount you have to hit. So I'll give dirty numbers. So if you get a card and the card says you need to spend $5,000 in 3 months to get 30,000 points. Now for me, I go $5,000. I can spend that in 3 months. That's a normal number for average household. Electricity bill, food bill, gas, whatever. Run everything through that card. Here's the discipline part again, and this goes back to anything. It's discipline. You're going to put it on your card, and you're going to pay that card off. You're going to put it on that card, and you're going to pay that card. Use the card like a debit card.
Yeah, don't carry no balance.
Do not carry a balance, people.
Negative investing.
And correct. Everything is everything is there. You just have to understand how the system works. And basically, long story short, you spend the $5,000 in 3 months, you get the 30,000 points, and you buy a regular plane ticket, and you upgrade for 20,000 points to a business class ticket for free.
That's how you do it?
That's how it's done.
I thought you were paying for all this stuff.
You pay for some of it.
Yeah.
You pay for some of it because then what happens is the longer game. That's why you have to understand how certain cards work. So, for example, I will pay for I'll pay for a business class ticket, rack up, and because you're in that class now, you get triple or 5 times the points, which means that my next trip, I can buy a normal ticket and upgrade and still be in a business class or a premium class. If you understand that.
Because that's how you travel.
Yes.
You only do B class or better.
I do normal economy. I have no shame in it. I will do normal economy, but if I can basically get into a business class or a first class for literally the same price as an economy ticket, all funded by trading, everything goes hand in hand.
All right. Your wife understands what you're doing?
Yeah, she totally understands. She loves it. She loves it because I don't leave her out. And that's, I mean...
yeah, you're traveling with her.
Yeah, correct. I don't leave her out. And
you don't leave her in economy when you're in business class.
No, of course not. Never. I'll be on the couch. And not only that, but she understands the trading because she was working from home before. She's now back at the office, but she's working from home before. And my workstation's right next to her. I'm here and she's there. And she would see me trading. And she's a very supportive woman and curious as well. She trades as well. She doesn't do it as aggressive as I do.
Right.
But because she's seen me doing it, she has gotten an interest in doing it.
Right.
And again, if you have a life partner or a wife or whatever that understands what you do, it's even more fun. It's more fun. Because I would be sitting there at my trade station. She'll be sitting there at her computer. I'm making money. She's making money. We're what, like a mini, what we call prop floor, where I'm calling stuff. And if I'm, for example, I'll just, and these are not stock picks or anything, but if I'm trading Tesla, I'm focused on Tesla. She might be trading NVIDIA. Same household. All the money's still in the same household. But I have a wing woman. A wing
partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And that's part of the fun of it too. And she understands the She understands the long-term goal of it, and it's not, and it's really, to be honest with you, Erin, it's not anything special. I don't. If I make $1 million, great. If I don't make $1 million, great. My target and my focus for stock hacking has always been those three things: pay for my vacations, have a bit of money to pay for bills, and at the end of the day, have a little extra to invest as well. I'm not, and you have to be realistic with this again. This is not a magic pill. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is your hard-earned money that you're investing. It's still investing at the end of the day. And it can be gone literally, it can be gone in a second. So I take it as, I call it my day job. When I sit at my trading desk.
You take it that seriously?
Yes, I am at work.
Yeah.
I am at work. This is not a game. Because I know that it took me 35 hours of doing Doordash, and I post it in our Facebook group. People say I've done Doordash all year round, in snow, in sun, in the hot summers. So for me, if I'm out there doing that, why should I now take that capital and turn this into a game or a joke?
Yeah, you worked for it.
Exactly.
It's hard-earned money.
Correct.
Yeah.
So therefore, for me, I see it as a job. And I sit down and I when I trade between the hours of 8 and 10:30ish, I am at work.
Right, you're a professional.
Yeah, I'm very disciplined, and I go back to that all the time. You have to be disciplined. Because people think that this is a casino, and like I said, it's not for everybody. There's people out there with gambling problems and stuff. This is not for you. I will never tell you to do this if you have a sad to say, if you have an addiction to gambling and that kind. This is not for you.
I couldn't agree more. I've seen people do gambling type behavior.
Correct.
And it was absolutely wrong thing to do.
Correct. This is not for you. Yeah. If you have that gambling mentality and that gambling attitude, I will say this out loud and clear to everybody right now. You will lose everything.
Right. It's just like the casino.
Correct.
It's against,
the casino,
stacked
the
against you.
house will win.
Yeah.
So this is, if you are that person, please take my advice. If you're that person, do not do this.
The analogy I have in my head of the stock market
Yeah.
is, I've been watching baseball lately.
Yeah.
So I think of the stock market as a professional pitcher.
Yeah.
And I'm the batter.
Correct.
And the pitcher is pretty much almost, like statistically, the pitcher almost always wins.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Like, to be an all-star, you hit 30%.
Yes.
Right? 300 technically, but 3 times out of 10 you get a hit. You are an all-star.
Yeah.
Right? In the world of, gambling or stocks, you're getting killed. So that's how I think of it. So that's why you have to that's why I want people to have the mindset of, the stock market is not there to make you money.
Correct.
The stock market there is actually to prey on weak players.
Correct.
Right?
To take your money.
To take your money.
It's there to take your money. And it's purposely set up that way. It's literally, like you said, it's online Vegas. Right? And they have glorified this. Where they turned it into a game. When you there's certain,
they've gamified it. Yeah, they've gamified stock apps.
Sorry, there you go. Gamified. That's the word I'm looking for. They turn it into a game where when you buy a stock on certain apps, you have confetti flowing on your phone, and to me, that's the wrong perception to be sending to people.
But it should be gamifying it.
It should not be. And I've seen people got their shirts handed to them because of it.
I feel like dollar cost averaging, maybe you want to gamify that.
Yeah,
for like a long-term strategy.
Yes,
but not for any sort of trading behavior.
Correct. No trading behavior should be gamified.
Yeah.
Long-term, if you like you say, if you want to gamify a bit, and if I buy it here and I'm holding it and it's got a dividend, I do that. In my long-term portfolio, I go, geez, oh my gosh, do you see the price of Walmart now?
Yeah.
Do you see the price of Walmart?
Or Nike.
Yeah. Just had earnings yesterday.
Got killed.
And got murdered.
Yeah.
And I made money off that. But the long play...
Not advice, folks.
Not advice. But again, that goes to my trading buckets. And you have to be educated to do that.
Right. And you scaled your risk.
Correct.
For that level of risk.
Exactly. People need to understand the risk that I'm putting on here is minimal. I don't want you guys to think that this guy is here throwing the whole house.
You're not gambling.
No, very far from it. But what I'm doing is repeatable. I'm very specific steps that I do, repeating over and over and over a long term.
We'll talk more about that offline with the team. I'm sure they'd like to hear.
For sure.
I forgot where I was going. Oh, I want to continue with the baseball analogy.
Yeah. So
when batters are successful, usually when the pitcher makes a mistake.
Correct.
For example, like the hanging curveball.
Yeah.
And so the analogy I would apply for the stock market is sometimes there's excessive fear.
Yes.
Right. For example, one stock I keep watching is Bank of Nova Scotia.
Okay.
Right. The CEO has transitioned out, and the stock just tanked.
Yeah.
But now the dividend is over 6%.
There we go.
Right? It's still going down. I think there's a good chance. There's a chance it may keep going down. Again, not advice, folks. But to me, this seems excessive.
Yes, it's overdone.
Yeah, that's overdone, and that could be a buying opportunity.
But remember what I stated earlier, and we said it earlier. People get fearful, and it's an elevator ride down. Right? So when people see red on that screen, it induces a feeling of panic, and it induces a feeling of your hair is on fire, so I have to sell. Right? Whereas with a long-term strategy, again, dollar cost averaging, and learning, educating yourself on how to do this, you can sit on the sideline. Cash is a position. Cash is a position. People seem to not remember that.
Yeah.
Cash is a position. And anybody with cash in a bear market will succeed when it turns around. Because what can they do? Buy and ride the wave.
And buy the dip, yeah. Because fears, it's actually funny. I was actually on CNN's website this year, the Fear Greed Index.
Yeah.
And it actually said a month ago we were neutral. We were almost midpoint, like 50, almost 50% midpoint. I can't believe that was a month ago.
Yeah, but
now there's blood in the streets.
Let's talk about inflation and a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, recession.
Is recession and the
what's the Bank of Canada going to do? The Federal Reserve.
The war in Ukraine and Russia and stuff going on in Europe with their dollar and world events cause like this stuff to happen, right? So a month ago, when people were saying we're neutral and stuff like that, but you're reading articles about this is not changing, we have to do an inflation, we hiked inflation rates by this much, by 75 basis points, and I'm hearing nothing out of their mouth about we're cooling anything. All they're saying is we're hiking.
Yeah.
Eventually, what do you think will happen? The ride has to come to an end. It has to. And you have to get things, you have to reel things back in and get things under control. Where people were used to a lot of cushiness in the stock market. Everybody thought that once you bought, it just goes to the moon. A lot of people got in around back in the day. You know it, GameStop, AMC, those kind of crazy times. People got in and thought that that's the stock market. No, it isn't. But again,
that was so foolish.
Foolish, silly, very, very, very silly. And they don't understand the mechanics of it, right? And they don't, like you and I, that will deep dive and look into what's going on in the economy, what's going on in the world, what's going on with inflation, what's going on with mortgages or whatever. And we then piece together a puzzle where we formulate a trade plan which we execute over a long term. No kid on his phone in his mom's basement is doing that. But he's going to take his check from his job and go throw it into these stocks and then wonder why he has no money.
Right. I do have to say, I don't think I know anyone personally doing this. I think.
No, I've read articles. I don't know anybody personally either, but I've read of articles. And it's a bit sad that people just don't understand, and they're just
That's casino stuff.
yeah, it's casino stuff.
Yeah.
But as long as you know what you're doing, and again, you're educated and you have the right mindset, this can be done, and this can be done easily.
What's your outlook for the markets, or do you care? You're just gonna ride the trend.
I don't care. The reason why I don't care is because I'm a chart trader. So I just trade what's in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a crystal ball, and I don't like to forecast too far out anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this: over history and over time, the market has done this over and over and over, and it has done what? Rebounded. So I have to take, again, the data that is there,
Mm-hmm.
and the data is telling me that the market goes down, and it goes back up, and it goes down,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes back up.
Mm-hmm.
We're just in the downward motion. I don't know for how long. Nobody knows for how long. But I will say this: as long as you know that you have cash on the sideline,
Mm-hmm.
or you're making moves where you are able to capitalize on a down move.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't need your money right away, that's in the
Correct.
market.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can sit this out,
Yeah. Just wait.
and trust me, sitting it out will reap some major dividend, like major money on the way back up.
Yeah.
Because right now, stock market's on sale. People don't want to hear that, but for me, stock market's on sale.
It's good to be heading lower though.
Yeah, but I'm saying we would never thought, or people will never think that we can be picking up certain stocks at this price.
Yeah, I can't. Like Nike's like in the 80s.
Yeah.
And it was 160
Yeah.
not that long ago.
Correct. Right? And if I said...
And we're not talking about crack stock. This ain't
Correct.
This ain't AMC GameStop.
Correct.
This is Nike.
Nike, a quality company that's been around for years. And that's what we stress on in our program as well. We stress on you're buying quality, long track record stocks.
Mm-hmm.
You're not buying the jump on the bandwagon what-to-do stocks.
Mm-hmm.
The carnival ride stocks is what I call them.
The most top two most recognizable brand in the world.
Yeah.
The Nike swoosh.
Correct.
It's either them or
Other than that,
McDonald's
the only
or
other
Coke.
person other than that is Apple or McDonald's, I think.
Yeah.
You know, but in our program and in what we're taught to buy quality stocks,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And that way, as long as something is quality, it may go down in value, but because it is quality,
Mm-hmm.
people will recognize that at that price, it's a deal,
Mm-hmm.
and it will go back up. And our program is usually we trade long, what we call long bias.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because there's only so much time to teach.
correct,
Right?
exactly. But right now,
People
is a
had enough
great
trouble.
time.
It's hard enough for a lot of people to figure out the long,
Agree.
including
I
spreads.
totally agree.
Before we cover shorts.
I totally agree. It's complicated. It's very
Yeah.
complicated. I tell people all the time, it's one of those things where you have to be willing to take time out to learn this. This is not something you learn overnight. This is not. Even if you take the education, you're not going to take Stock Hacker Academy, digest it all in 2 nights, and go trade next week.
Mm-hmm.
The course actually, if you're doing Stock Hacker Academy correct, that course should take you a couple months. And then you actually need to refresh it.
Yeah, you should be practicing with paper, simulated trading.
Yeah.
If someone's really new to this, like new to stock world, new to option world, yeah, they should probably retake the course.
Correct.
Which is free to do, because folks get the recordings for 12 months. If there's any confusion, they should understand what they're doing before they mess with their money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right? And people don't understand that when you invest in yourself and you understand what it took to take that money and invest in yourself, that's why I said, how can you take this for a game? Anybody doing this and anybody taking the route of education and stuff like that, you had to work for that money.
Mm-hmm.
You took time away from your family. You went to your job. Some people are in a job that they don't like. So you went to a job that you didn't like and you worked for 40 hours times X amount of weeks.
Yeah, you're driving the snow.
Correct.
It's dangerous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for me, it's and for anybody for that matter, if you're investing in yourself and you're investing in a course and you're taking your hard-earned money to do it, you need to take it serious, right? I am out there, for me personally, I am out there in the snow delivering food, and it's a risk. Every time I get in my car, it's a risk, right? And I'm doing it because I am willing to say this risk is worth a bigger reward in the long run.
Well, it hasn't been that long a run, but you're doing extremely well. Can you share some numbers, how well you're doing?
Yeah, so I started out with a basic target. Actually, I'll put it this way. So I started out with a dollar target, and now I've transitioned into a percentage target.
Okay, what was the dollar target?
So my dollar target was, when I very first started, I'll give you numbers. So I started out my account with $3,000. That's the minimum that you need. You need $2,500 to trade.
That's actually a really smart number.
Yeah.
I like 3K because, like, for most that won't be devastating if they lose it all.
Exactly.
Let's see if you can prove to yourself you can make money with 3K.
Exactly.
Before you do 100K.
Thank you. And you took the words right on my mouth. I start with 3K.
American, Canadian?
American.
Okay.
So 3K American, because for our platform, for the listeners' sake, for our platform, well, if you want to trade U.S. stocks, and that's where what we call the movement is.
There's more action.
Yeah. The Canadian
way
stocks,
more selection, way more volume.
There's Canadian stocks that pay a very nice dividend, and I keep those in my long-term portfolio.
Yeah.
But
and tax advantage.
Correct.
Yeah.
TFSA, you put it in that and everything else. But for what we do, options trading, you either need movement in it or it needs to go sideways if you're doing spreads. But basically, I started out with a $3,000 account, and my target was, let me make $100 a week. On a $3,000 account, you can make $100 a week with a spread. You can actually, if I really want to get technical, you could, and this is in a perfect world, folks, but I'm just saying for numbers' sake. If you took $3,000 and in a perfect world you did spreads, you could generate around $1,000 a month. And it sounds crazy, doesn't it? But I'm just saying that that's in a perfect scenario world. That's why I started with that. Right. Numbers wise. We are not in a perfect scenario. We do not know what's going to happen the very next second in the stock market. So, but I'm saying that on paper, with spreads and with a 3K account on paper, you could make that money. I'm just trying to show you the power of trading and what could be done in a bubble. But on my end, started with 3,000, tried to aim for $100 a week. Then I took my Doordash money, and every week I added to my account. And I just told that you can make $500. So that's nice round numbers. $500 a week of Doordash every week is $2,000. At $2,000 plus what I originally put in, that puts me at what now? $5,000.
Getting there with plus the exchange.
Yeah, but around 5,000.
Yeah.
Give or take a bit. And even on that, for about the first, I want to say 2-3 months, my target was try to make $100 a week. With the movements in the market, luckily for me, I took advantage of certain market moves and certain stocks, and I was making more than that. So then I decided, okay, let me change it to $200 a week, and that was about 3 months to be on the safe side, 3 months later. So if you do the math again, this again, is a process, right? And the easy way to put it is the more money you have in your account, the more trades you can take. So if I started with 3,000 and every month, even if I am taking, controlled losses, if I'm taking controlled losses, but I'm putting around $2,000 into the account from doing Doordash, then by month number 3, I should have around $6,000 or $8,000 starting from the beginning. Around that mark now, you can take bigger trades. You can do different styles of trading. Our style, we sell puts, but there's a couple different styles that I use to trade. I also do straight equity. I also do...
Sorry, straight equity, you're buying contracts or you're doing shares? No, straight equity,
just straight stock.
All right, buy
straight
stock,
equity, just straight stock, like how we will buy a stock and hold. Same concept. Buy the stock straight, sell it for profit, but just in a shorter window. And those stocks are stocks that are under $50. So for the listener's sake, when we talk about contracts, one contract is 100 shares. 100 shares times $50 stock is $5,000. I just said that in 3 months you have $5,000.
Yeah.
So therefore, at the 3-month mark, I can now trade equity. I don't only have to trade options, right? So therefore, at the 3-month mark, now
you can now afford 500 shares of
correct.
stock.
I can now
100 shares
afford
of
100
stock.
shares of stock.
That costs you $5,000.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which cost me $5,000. Same move, and you make money, for the listener again that might not know. You make money when a stock goes up by buying it, or you make money when a stock goes down by selling it. Either way, the movement in that stock, for example, if it's a 50-cent move and you have 100 shares, that is $50. If it makes $1 move, you have $100. Switch to equity, trade, get a 50-cent move or even a 25-cent move, and my target that I said used to be $100 a week. If I can get a 25-cent move a day, there's 5 days in the week, and I have enough in my account, I can make my actually more than $100 a week. And that's how now, like I said, this becomes now compounding, and this becomes how you grow your account. Once that part is done and you start to add a few more strategies, then basically at the end of the day, you can grow an account from 3,000 to where it is over 5x, in my case.
You 5x your account?
Yes.
How you feel about that?
Amazing. Completely amazing.
In how long?
A year. Just under a year. Because we were here. I opened the account on my last interview with you. But that
no one's going to believe this.
Yeah, but that's from trading profits and working.
Yeah, okay.
Let's not forget the working part. Let me be clear, folks. This is not only... I know, because people think, oh my God, he 5x his account from $3,000 trading. No, I never said that. This is from working and trading.
So what are your new goals now? What are your goals as a percentage now?
Percentage-wise, I'm trying to make about anywhere between 5 to 10% a month.
Right. But it's not always there, right?
No.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Right.
To make...
But if it's not there, you're not looking
it.
for it.
Correct.
You're not pushing for it.
You're not pushing for it because you don't want to force trades.
Yeah, don't force it.
Again, this is a job, and this is structured. So I need to be clear, and I will say it again. If it's not there, it's not there.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like you're building a house.
Correct.
If the conditions are right to pour foundation,
exactly,
you don't do it.
You don't do it. Same thing. Exactly. Because the long term, being in the market long term is more important than forcing a trade and losing everything that I've built over time.
Don't lose money.
Correct. Rule number 1.
Yeah.
Don't lose money. Or I will say, okay, there's rule number 1, don't lose money. And then there's rule number 1.5, which is if you lose money, lose less than you make. It's simple math, folks. Simple math. If I
Just stay in the game.
Correct. If I make 100, I am not risking 100. I am going to risk 20. Because here's the thing with stock market. Opportunities will arise over and over and over again. It's
just secular.
Yeah. Opportunities will, right? So
sorry, Anderson. Have you seen the new version of Stock Hacker Academy? We're calling it internally. We call it 3.0.
No, I have not.
Oh, okay.
I have not seen
3.0. We'll go have a look at it after this.
Definitely, for sure.
Yeah, because it'll. Hopefully, you'll be happy with it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you'll be happy with it. It'll be the best version we've ever put out.
Wonderful. That should be fun to see.
Because we haven't actually offered Stock Hacker Academy the beginner bundle for a couple months now.
Right. Okay.
And we're not announcing it until the conference.
Gotcha.
That's what will be first available. But I'd love you to have a look at it.
Yeah, for sure.
And let us know your feedback.
I will definitely. Yeah. I'll take a look at it for sure.
We've definitely tried to make it a lot more comprehensive.
Yeah.
And a lot more beginner friendly. Just from the feedback we've been getting.
For sure.
Yeah, we spent a lot more time on the stock side, just like basic stock side, before we even got into like options.
Yeah, which is very good.
Yeah.
Which is very good because it's actually easier for somebody to understand stock trading. Well, I keep saying stock, but in my head it's equities. But it's easier for somebody to, even visually, it's easier for somebody to see buy and sell rather than going into an options chain. So yeah, that there is a very, very positive move on your guys' part that simplifies things even more for people to get into it. So yeah, that definitely will boost your program. Straight out the gate, I'll tell you that will boost your program because it's just easier. It's just easier for people to understand.
Well, not just that, because for your long-term portfolio, for example, you don't need the option stuff.
Correct.
You just need the stock stuff.
Exactly.
And then we'll have some other surprises that we'll announce at the conference.
Oh, wow, lovely.
Yeah. Well, you know our speaker's Derek Foster.
Yes.
So for a long-term investor, he's just a long-term kind of guy, buy and hold kind of guy, and he's positive on the year.
Yeah.
Isn't that insane?
I can totally see that, though. I can totally see that because Derek Foster is a genius as far as I'm concerned. His way of, when I say genius, his way of looking at the markets and investing.
Yeah, he's an investor, not a trader.
Correct. That's the word I use. Yeah. Investing
more Buffett style.
Is very, very strategic and very, very calculated, and he's very smart at it. And he's done it for years. He's been retired for how long now?
Almost 20 years.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
What I want people to appreciate as well is that he is retired by all definitions. Retired, as in he doesn't do any work. Wow. Doesn't earn any wages anywhere else.
Just off his portfolio, eh?
Yeah, because in the real estate context, I often say people that I retired.
Yeah.
But they became full-time real estate investors.
Right.
Which is actually pretty busy.
Yeah.
Like for many it can be very stressful, especially these times.
Yeah.
Versus he's got like no stress. He's 60% cash.
Yeah.
Right? His greatest worry is inflation's eating his money.
Yeah.
But
he can deploy that.
He can deploy that, and we both know many ways better to lose money than lose money to inflation.
Yeah, exactly.
There's lots more ways to lose money. So losing money to inflation, not the worst.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, if you just look, like, it's all relative.
Yeah.
And we're joking around that, like, there's only really two winning investments this year: U.S. dollars and oil. And oil is only a slight winner this year. Right? Yes. Everything else lost money this year.
Yeah, correct.
Across the board.
Correct. Everything went down. Everything went down.
Which is why being willing to go to the short side.
Correct. Is profitable as a trader.
Yeah. And those have been almost all my best trades this year have been on the short side.
Yeah. I totally agree. Like,
anyone who told me they've been going bullish and making money this year, I'm like,
you're crazy.
No, you didn't. You're lying.
Unless they're a day trader and they're in and out.
Right.
But outside of that, if you're telling me you're making money long, no.
Yeah.
Crazy.
There's no reason. If you're a trader, there's no reason to just play one side.
Exactly.
Right.
But if you do what we do, like you said, and you're making money, you have to go short.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody's saying that they're going on making money, please show me.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody...
If you did, you made only little.
Correct.
There's way more money to be made on the short side for this year.
Of course.
Yeah.
This year has been a complete bear market.
Yeah.
A complete bear market. And as long as you know how to go short, money's there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just how the stock market works. Money's there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how for me, that's how I grew my account. And between that, my process is nothing special. Work, put your money in the account, trade, don't lose as much money as you profit. Mm-hmm. That's all it is. The process is just rinsed and repeated, rinsed and repeated. And 5Xing for me means I started here.
Mm-hmm.
I started with 3. I'm over 15 now. That is with working, and that is with trading.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Like 5 years ago, Anderson, would they believe you're doing what you're doing now?
5 years
Probably thought
ago,
it was a scam.
Yeah. I should say yes and no because I know there's people out there making money in the stock market. I know there were. I would see them on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference is that I was like, what am I missing, or what do they know that I don't know? That's all it was. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, I met you and I understood, okay, that's what's missing, which is understanding the stock market, educating yourself. It's like any profession. Mm-hmm. This is what I don't understand. You will go to school to be a doctor, lawyer, nurse, chef. You go to school for 2 years, but you don't want to go take 3 months or 4 months to learn the stock market? It's crazy to me.
Totally crazy.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a good ride, man. For me, it's been great. It's fueled my vacations. It's put food on my table. It helped me to pay down debts as well. Mm-hmm. That's another important part too. I don't think people don't understand that what this can do for you is help you to do other stuff. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Paying down debt as well. Canadians are debt laden.
Oh yeah,
debt laden like crazy.
We're following the example of our government.
Correct, but you're debt laden, and I'm saying that a solution to combat that on an individual person-to-person basis is how about get a side hustle? Yeah. How about learning to trade? How about taking your side hustle money or your trading profits and you pay down that 19% credit card? Because technically, if you pay that down, you just made 19% on your year. Yeah. My way of thinking, to be honest with you,
non-deductible loss. Too.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
But my way of thinking over the last year, I would say I've matured so much in understanding even how money flows, right? Mm-hmm. If anybody listened to my old podcast and they listen to this one now,
which I recommend, October 23rd, I think it came out, 2021.
Yeah, if you listen to that, it was more at the very, very beginning of my journey, and it was more about, and I will never forget when we were joking, we were going, oh, you got rims on your car, and da-da-da-da-da, and yeah, that's nice. This Anderson here today, different guy.
It's only been 12 months, bro. 11 months.
Different guy. Because I understand the power of trading.
Yeah.
I understand
that you can make money with money.
Yes.
Right.
That to me,
it's a gift.
But it was a foreign concept.
Yeah.
Right. But when the light bulb went off, I was like, what?
Yeah.
You can make money with money.
Yeah.
Instead of making money, and I'm not saying don't buy nice things or whatever, but for me, I'm very picky with what I choose to buy now. Now, where before, if I made this kind of money back in the day, I'll be upfront. If I made this kind of money back
2 years ago.
Yeah. If I made this money 2 years ago, I'd have probably gone down payment on another car. I'll be honest. I'm being upfront, and this is the truth about real estate. This is a truthful show. Me, the old me, I'd have gone and down pay on another car, guaranteed. I know I can make money. I know I can. And that's a self-belief to all the listeners out there. You have to believe in yourself as well. It takes believing in yourself, and it also takes you having a conviction to know that you can do whatever you put your mind to. That's the take. If you guys are listening to nothing else on this whole entire podcast, please listen to this. You can do whatever you put your mind to. And once you have that dialed in, nobody, I don't care who you are, nobody can stop you. No one. And once you learn how, like you said, to make money with money, there's a lot of other stuff that you'll be amazed, that your eyes will get opened up to. I start learning so much about and reading, and even with the IBC and all that, to me is, asked me about that a year ago.
Yeah, you have the whiteboard for Adam when we're done.
You know, but it's stuff like that. Using money to make money, the 3 buckets. I'll simplify it. I day trade to fund my midterm. From my midterm to fund my long-term account. 3 simple buckets. Day trade, midterm, long-term. The cycle keeps flowing.
And so now you see your path to financial freedom.
Correct.
Right.
Very much so.
Did you have that 2 years ago?
Yeah. I'll put it this way. I did, just not in the time frame that I know I can do it now.
How much did you shave off?
So far, I've took off about 6 years.
6 years?
6 years. Because I used to be, way back, like 2-3 years ago, I used to be the pay the minimum on your credit card kind of guy.
Oh,
Most
damn.
people, yeah. And carry a balance a couple years ago. But I wasn't educated on that level, right? When I say a couple years ago, I'm talking about like 4 or 5, like a couple years ago. But I was of the buy it on credit card, pay the minimum only, and that's it.
Oh my.
And then when you get around to it, you pay down your credit card whenever.
Damn.
Yeah. This is the truth about real estate, and this is the truth about me. This is me. I am sharing my story. And that mentality is now, I shouldn't say only changed in a year, because to be honest, that's years ago. But learning and the process from then to now, night and day.
Yeah, because your path now is quite advanced. What you're doing.
Yeah.
Like what you're doing now is actually more commonly only seen in rich people.
Yeah. Yeah. The behavior of it, my behavior of it, is that of a rich person.
No.
The
how you were acting with your money.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what rich people do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My behavior.
Yeah.
Is that of a rich person. Whereas.
Straight up, what you were doing before is what poor people do.
Correct. Exactly. And I was going to say that. You have to think about how should I word this? If you're not exposed to something in your life, you will never know that there is a faster path to financial freedom. So I'll word that in this way. When you grow up and you're around people that are listening to rap music, and they got big rims on their car, and they got chains and gold chains and all this stuff, and wearing the latest fashion, and you grow up in that, and you see that, what do you automatically think? That's the way.
Yeah.
Right?
Not the way.
It's not the way. And then you come across, I don't want to insult anybody, but you come across smart people who understand how, I will term it this way, the world works and how money works, and you start to learn from them. My goodness. And then people sit there and they wonder, why is that guy over there? And I said it on my first podcast. Why is that guy over there in a nice car, or in a nice house, or he has a nice business, or he's building a company, or he's doing this and that and next and third, and you don't answer a question? All I did with my life was start asking questions to successful people. Or I made sure if they had a book out, I'm looking at your setup, and you have Robert Kiyosaki right there. And you got a whole bunch of books. You got, funny enough, you got Canadian guy becoming banker. This kind of stuff here, folks, I don't know if you have this in the backdrop, but this here.
On the YouTube, they can see it.
Correct. This here, knowledge is power. And I'm saying that, and it sounds cliche, but knowledge is power. And that is the difference between being poor and being rich, or being poor and being middle class, or being poor or being comfortable. And when you unlock that, the sky's the limit.
It does sound so cliche, but that is the truth about real estate investing.
It is. It is.
Anderson, I want to congratulate you on your success. We're over time.
So
Thank you so much for coming in again.
Most appreciated, man.
You're not allowed to leave until you whiteboard with Adam.
Yeah, for sure.
And I want you to see the 3.0.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Thanks again for having me. I'd also like to give a quick shout out to a few people in our community that have helped me to just open my mind to certain things. First of all, I'd like to shout out Larry and Ellie. And those two have, they've helped me big time in my journey, even if they don't think they did, but me talking to them. Mm-hmm. I talk to them, funny enough, weekly, daily. It's funny. But I talk to them because they have helped me to understand certain things. Mm-hmm. And without them, I would have figured it out, but they fast-tracked me.
Right.
And I want to give them kudos on this show, and I want them to hear on this show that I'm very grateful for them taking the time out to be a sounding board and be a mentor for me.
Right.
And I appreciate it. And as well, I want to thank you, Erwin, for giving me the opportunity again to come on your show, and also for bringing this skill as an options person to the masses, to teach them that there is something also out there to help them in their lives. And I appreciate you for that.
Well, we offered to everyone that, Anderson. I think you know that.
I know.
You're the one that took advantage of it and ran with it.
Yeah, definitely.
So congratulations on your success. We're very proud of you here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. If you want to learn how to invest in real estate from scratch, my team teaches beginners how to use the #1 investment strategy that I personally use in a virtual free training class every month. Go to investortraining.ca/YouTube to register for our next class. That link is also in the description as well. I publish at least 2 to 3 videos a week here, so subscribe if you want to keep learning from seasoned investors like myself and my guests. And if you're just starting out, feel free to ask questions and comment below, and I do the best to answer each of those comments and questions myself. Again, if you're ready to learn the nitty-gritty about real estate investing from a professional investor, register for our next virtual class. That's at investortraining.ca/YouTube. Thanks again for watching. See you in the next video.